Social media and Hollywood give a distorted view of human life. They make you think that life is like a music video, and a lot of men find their lives boring in comparison. But the problem might not be day-to-day life. The problem might be your distorted expectations. In this video, we'll look at why your life is so boring and what you can do about it. Human beings are storytellers. Humans have this amazing creative ability. We think about our lives using a narrative, storytelling format, and you can see this creativity in your own self. You have a personal autobiography running in your mind, and in your life story, you are the hero. And since every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so does your own autobiography. You have an origin story. It covers your childhood, your upbringing, your family, and the things that happened to you when you were young. And you also have the story of your first girlfriend, your first job, and other important moments in your life. And right now, you're probably somewhere in the middle of your life. The actions you take today will determine the ending of your personal autobiography. And when we think about the future, we think of a better tomorrow. We use the future to contemplate our hopes and dreams. We make plans, set goals, and build our lives around this ending. And a man who hates his current situation, he hopes that future, his life story, improves. His imaginary future gives him an escape from his suffering. He wants to look back at the dark days and see a heroic transformation. Day-to-day life is mediocre. But here's the problem. Day-to-day life rarely resembles the future fantasies that we hold. A man with no money might daydream that he will make millions of dollars. He might create an elaborate narrative where he grows in wealth and power. He might even spend a lot of time daydreaming about this future, but when it comes time to face his present circumstances, it hurts to look at the truth. It doesn't look anything like his desired future. Day-to-day life is mediocre. You wake up tired, and when you drive to work, you get stuck in traffic. You spend the day dealing with co-workers, clients, and problems, and none of this excites you. It's all quite tedious. And after work, you get stuck in traffic again on your way home, and you might end up eating junk food or plopping down in front of the TV or your computer for a few hours, and then you pass out and the routine starts all over again the next day. In other words, real life is very different from this fantastic future that we want for our personal autobiographies. Real life consists of day-to-day grind. People use escapism to get away from the unpleasant nature of daily life. But is a mediocre routine really such a terrible way to live? If you browse social media, particularly Instagram, you'll see the social media personalities who are influencing men. They often give the impression that life is one giant party. They want you to believe that they spend their time on yachts, drinking champagne with supermodels, living a lifestyle that resembles a hip-hop music video. And impressionable men have formed false beliefs about life. In their own autobiographies, they want to live that rap music video lifestyle too, and they daydream about it. And even your friends and family members only post their greatest highlights onto their timelines. You see their group pictures where everybody's smiling and laughing, and you see vacations, you see weddings, you see parties, but you don't see the divorces, the bankruptcies, the depressions, because people hide their real lives from the spotlight of social media. So a lot of guys look at their everyday lives and see the tedious routine and the boring daily grind. They draw up the conclusion that something is deeply wrong with them. They think that they are pathetic losers or underachievers. They think that other people are living these terrific lives in comparison. But life is mediocre for everybody. The truth is that nobody's life is that great. Even the greatest celebrities and millionaire hotshots live pretty boring lives. They might have more entertainment than average, but they also have tedious daily routines, just like you and me. For example, I worked with a self-made millionaire when I was younger. He drove a Bentley while I drove a beat-up Toyota Corolla. He lived in a double-story house and I lived in a two-bedroom apartment. But I worked closely with him and saw his lifestyle up close. And it wasn't that different from my own. Although he had a lot of money, he still spent 60 hours a week making sales calls. And although he went to parties with the elite members of the city, I went to the bar with my buddies from the gym. And the difference was not that huge. I respect wealth and I'm not denigrating his achievements. I'm just saying that there's this glamorous image that hangs over millionaires, and often it's just not true. How to create a truly exciting life. Now, let's not forget, your life is slightly boring too. You sleep 8 hours a day, and your waking hours probably consist of a lot of mundane activities, but that's real life. Those 16 hours a day that you spend working, cooking, cleaning, and chilling out, that's the reality of your story. But here's the good news. Although the fake social media lifestyle is a lie, you can still create an exciting life. Sigmas live this type of exciting life. It's not social media, it's the real deal. And here are a few things you can do. Use leisure time wisely. Firstly, use your leisure time wisely. A life of true excitement, not the nonsense we see on Instagram, often comes down to correct time management. A lot of men make this mistake. They confuse inactivity with happiness. So when they get home from work in the evening, they plop down on the couch and have a beer, or they veg out in front of the TV. They dedicate their leisure time to laziness because it feels good to relax. They confuse this pleasure with genuine happiness, and it ruins them. Genuine happiness comes from activity. Think of your life as a city. Now imagine all the citizens of the city were lazy. After work, they lie around doing nothing. Now, do you think the city would prosper? Well, compare that city with a neighboring one where the citizens remain active. They work hard, but they also enjoy nightlife, culture, and hobbies. The city hums with activity at all hours. So, which city do you think would be more exciting? Similarly, you need to fill your life with activity. It won't feel good at first, especially if you are used to being lazy. It will feel tiring at the beginning, but over time, you will become a more high-energy individual. Get out your comfort zone. Instead of chilling out at night, seek out adventure. Men who stay at home watching Netflix have built a comfort zone. They have forsaken adventure and replaced it with safety and security. If you've been doing this for years, then you're probably scared to take risks. You need adventure. So go join a boxing club or take up powerlifting. Travel to some random destination and go hang out in a bar there. Or take up public speaking or some other type of challenge. It doesn't matter what you do, just get out of your comfort zone. Become obsessed with your work. Find work you're obsessed with. You spend 8 to 10 hours a day at work, so if you find your job totally mind-numbing, your life will be boring. You don't need to love your job. In fact, a lot of the time it's unrealistic to love your work. Instead, Sigmas find work that they are obsessed with. Take sales as an example. Not many people consider sales to be fun, but the job, while unpleasant, is fascinating. You must combine psychology, persuasion, charisma, problem-solving, and many other interesting social skills. It's sort of an art, and if you master it, you can make huge amounts of money. Meet new people. Another thing you can do is to meet new people. For example, if you're a single man, particularly during the initial stages of dating, it's okay to talk to multiple women. And if you're already in a long-term relationship, then make new male friends. If you want to make friends, here's the secret. Men do things together. Women prefer to get together and talk. More often than not, Sigmas don't want to just sit around talking. So if you want new friends, you need to find new activities. Take up poker or chess or a sport. Then you'll have one group of friends who you train with, another who you play poker with, your fishing buddies, your drinking buddies, etc. Take up new activities and you'll make new friends. Gain knowledge. An exciting life doesn't only take place in the outside world, it also happens in your own mind when you expand your intellect. A lot of guys who did badly at school think that they are stupid, but if you're a Sigma male, you probably hated school due to the social environment as well as the authoritarian teachers. If you find a study method that works for you, you'll taste the joy of intellectual work. Life is fascinating. Studying the world is like studying the mind of God. Learn about philosophy, history, art, science, economics, business. Choose a few topics that interest you and delve right into them. Knowledge changes the human psyche. If you start a study routine, in a few years, you won't be the same person anymore. Fight for a higher cause. Finally, if you analyze your fellow citizens, you'll realize that their main motivation is survival. As long as they have shelter, food, and resources, they're content. But this type of life is boring for a Sigma. He needs a higher calling, a vocation, something to fight for. Sigmas often fight for future generations. They take up causes that will impact their grandkids, and that fight gives them a higher motivation, giving life meaning and purpose. Living an exciting life allows you to create a fulfilling personal autobiography. It won't look like the plastic, fake world of the social media influencer. Nevertheless, we all want a good life and a happy ending to our personal narrative. I use my grandfather as a role model. He died surrounded by his children, grandchildren, and even one great-grandchild. He saw 3 generations of his lineage while on his deathbed. After a life well lived, that's a good ending for a man.